I had decided yesterday while I was on my way to work that I was only going to add videos of myself all dolled up and on my way to work or leaving work. And I realized that's just unrealistic. If I want to do this often, then that's just unrealistic because I do not put on makeup every day. I have been working basically every single day, but you know, maybe this will be a trend that I actually keep up, and if it is, I'm not putting on makeup every single day for it. So I had a couple of things that I wanted to go over about last night. I actually made a video last night about how my night went, but at the end I said some shit that probably shouldn't have said, that I know would have offended some people. So I decided not to post that video. I am going to post it for girls in my inner group, but I'm not going to post that one publicly. Maybe I just, you know, in my Strategic Stripping 2.0 video that I was talking about having an inner group, I said that I was going to make Snapchat-like videos talking about work and everything, and I said that I was positive that not all the stuff I said in there was going to be positive, because we all deal with super shitty customers. It happens, and I wanted only the girls that I knew, you know, really wanted this information to be able to have it, whatever I was thinking at the time, which, you know, sometimes it's not great. So let me turn this on pause. Okay, so pointers from last night. Be aggressive. Do not have an issue with being aggressive. If you feel like you can make a sale, I feel like in a lot of cases you can only make a sale if you're aggressive. If you push for it, if you make him think like you are absolutely the girl that he wants to be with, whether he realizes it or not, like you're the girl. So don't be afraid to be aggressive. Now, when I say that, I'm sure everybody has a different idea of what aggressive is. I get in people's faces and I'm like, take me to VIP. I'm like, I know we're both gonna have a great time. Like, take me to VIP and I promise you won't regret it. I don't know what all exactly I say, but I push. I really push, because I've had customers thank me. They thank me for taking them back there after convincing them. So, you know, fuck it. Literally the worst that's gonna happen is they're gonna say no, or maybe you're annoying or something like that, but I highly doubt that that's gonna happen. The next person that I danced for in VIP was also, this person has on their back windshield wiper, they have a hand. So when they turn it on, it waves. That's funny. Okay, so the next person that I danced for was another Asian guy, and he wanted to sit and talk for a while, wanted to finish his drink before we went back to VIP. He was like, I need to, you know, be more in the mood. Well, I just started to tell him, listen, like, I understand you want to get drunk and everything, but I would much rather you actually remember us going back to VIP than, you know, tomorrow you wake up and you have no idea what you did. At least you'll remember me. Like, maybe not the rest of the girls here, but at least you'll remember me, and I'm sure you'll be happy about it. So pushed for him to go do a 30-minute VIP. At the club that I'm currently at, we have 3 different options. There's a 15-minute, a 30-minute, and an hour. Don't be afraid to talk about prices either. There's no, you know, they need to know. They need to know what the deal is, because if you don't tell them what the deal is and you get back there and then now they're afraid, or, you know, it's too much or whatever, now you've just wasted your time, you've wasted their time, you've probably wasted the host's time. It's just, you know, stupid. If they ask you what the deal is, don't be afraid to jump into pricing. I'm not, and I feel like it saves me time, and I just don't act like it matters. I don't act like it's a big deal. And if all the price frames seem too much for them, just be like, well, let's just go for the first one. Let's just do the, you know, whatever the shortest package is, or whatever the cheapest package is, whatever. Push for it. Push for it. That's my advice. Don't be afraid to ask the DJ to skip you on stage. I was sitting with this Asian guy, and the girls there are pretty aggressive, and I knew if I got up to go to stage and I got called. He always calls you 2 songs before set, at least at this club. I knew if I got up, there were other girls that were going to approach that were going to sit down with him. So I was like, hold on one second. So I walked up to the DJ and I was like, hey, I'm sitting with a customer. Can you skip me? And he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Some clubs might bitch about it, right? Especially if you do it a lot. Apparently others do not care. Crazy Horse 3 here, you don't even go to stage. You don't have to go to stage. If you do want to go to stage though, you'll get like $45 or $50 or more, I don't remember, off of your next house fee. And house fees there can get expensive, like $180 or something like that. At prime time, whatever time that is, I don't even remember. So don't be afraid to ask to skip stage if you think that you're gonna lose a customer. If you think you'll get customers though, go. A lot of girls have great stage presence, and yeah. Giving 3 options. This is something I just mentioned, which is when they ask about pricing, whether you're giving a lap dance or whatever. I've heard in sales it helps to give people 3 options, not more, not less, and people will typically go with the middle option. So for example, on the floor, if songs are $20, I don't know, I wouldn't go below a $20 dance on the floor. But for example, if you have to go in the back with somebody, like at some places, let's say it's 25 a song or 30 a song, well, I don't know, I'm really bad with math, but figure it out. You can come up with different pricing for, it's 1 for this much, 2 for this money, or 2 for this much, or 3 for this much. Just wing it. Figure out 3 different options to give your customers. And that's already how it is in VIP, so I don't have to make up anything there because there only are 3 options. Don't be afraid to talk money. There's a girl, I am typically always the one that helps get other girls dances. And I realize how nice that must be for them. And they've told me, how much they appreciate it and everything. But yesterday, for the first time that I can ever recall, honestly, I had somebody get me dances. And I was like, wow, that was really fucking awesome. It really was really nice. Like, I was sitting down, or I was walking by, and this chick was like, hey, and I think she did it because I did it for her yesterday, or the other day. I was sitting with this, okay, so I met this Asian guy, I met this Asian guy, and when I first met him, he was like, hey, you're really cute. He was like, I literally just told somebody I would sit with him though she's on stage. He was like, will you come back later? And I said, yeah, sure. Well, they sat together for like 2 hours. They sat together forever. And then they ended up going back in the VIP. And I thought that they were back there for hours, but apparently, I don't know how long they were back there for, and then he left. Well, he couldn't stop thinking about her. So apparently, according to his friend. So they came back looking for her. So I go to sit down in this guy's lap. He does not remember me at all. And he's like, hey, is so-and-so here? And I was like, I really don't know. I was like, she might be. I was like, there's a lot of girls here. I was like, I'm new. I'm really not sure who you're talking about. And normally, if it was a club I was familiar with or I knew the girl, I would go get her. But I'm not about to get up right now and start hunting the club down for this chick. I'm on day shift. I don't have that many options, and I'm not there for that much longer. I'm not doing it. So he's like, sit and talk to my friend. And I was like, whatever. With those kind of things, I used to, when guys would be like that, go sit with my friend, I'd be like, okay, bye. And I would just leave, and I wouldn't go sit with a friend. Well, I realized, I don't really care who I'm sitting with. So if he says to go sit with his friend, I'll go try his friend. And if his friend isn't interested, I'll leave. So I go sit down in his friend's lap, and his friend looks at his buddy and says, what the fuck? He says, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, she's smoking hot. And I was like, oh, okay, good. It's better than me having left. So I sit down with this guy, and he starts telling me that his Asian friend, the last time he was in Las Vegas, spent 12 grand on a girl there. I don't know if it was one girl or multiple girls, but I was like, oh shit. And I had just been talking to this other girl that's there. Beautiful girl that comes out from California, mother of like, I think 3 or something. She wants to be independent of her husband. I mean, she, they're in a partnership or whatever, and she's, loves him and everything, but she doesn't like asking for money. Who likes asking for money? I don't like that shit at all. Super fucking grateful for it. Don't get me wrong. I am so grateful for it every single time. No matter what, I'm grateful for it. But damn, do I have a hard time asking for, like, I will not ask for money. It's fucking hard for me. So, you know, I've been in a few relationships, and in a couple of them, I was the fucking provider. So I can't, I just don't like it. I don't like it. Even if I absolutely had to, I still don't think I would. So I had just been talking to her, you know, earlier, and now this guy's, you know, put me over on his buddy, and his buddy's telling me all this stuff about him, and I was like, he goes, go get my friend, because his friend got up to go look for this chick, and I was like, he's a grown-ass man, like, he's gonna have fun, like, you already told me he's a millionaire. If he's a millionaire, what does it matter if he spends a few $1,000s on some girl? He's gonna have a great time, he's gonna have great experience, like, what's the money good for anyway if you don't actually get to spend it on something you enjoy? And he was like, please just go get him. He was like, maybe I can convince him to take all of us back to VIP, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, fine. And the only reason I said fine was because the chick I had just been talking to was standing, like, on the way to go talk to this guy. So I was like, I can tell her that motherfucker is rich and you need to talk to him right now. So I get up and I start walking around. God, I hate it when people walk by me while I'm talking to myself. It feels so weird. Okay, so I get up to go talk to this girl, and, like, very briefly, I'm gonna just say as quick as I can. So I was like, the guy in the glasses, like, right as I'm walking by her, I tap her on the shoulder. I was like, the guy in the glasses. I was like, you have to talk to him. I was like, I'm going to grab him right now. I was like, I'll be right back. I said this as fast as I could, and I didn't know if she heard me, but I think she did, because she kind of looked like, which guy? Like, she didn't know if I meant to go talk to the guy I was just talking to or whatever. So I go back and I grab this guy, and as I'm walking towards her back to the spot I was at, I, you know, nod at her like this one. And so she goes to sit down on his lap, and we all start talking and everything. And I ended up seeing her the next day, and I was like, how much did you make? I was like, how much did you make from that guy? And she was like, she didn't hear me say that guy. She said $1,200, and I was like, fuck yes. I was like, that's awesome. And I was like, you made it all from that guy? And she was like, oh, no. She was like, I only made $100 from him. She was like, he was pretty drunk. I was like, yeah, he was pretty fucked up. So I told her the story, and she goes, he told me. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I was like, damn, I'm really sorry. I really thought he was going to drop a lot of money on her. But, so anyway, she made as much money from him as I made from his friend, which was just basically $100. So anyway, why did I bring them up? Oh, so the next day, she grows to grab me on 2 or 3 different occasions to try to give me dances. And she did, I think, once or twice. So she got me dances once, and she tried twice, maybe 3 times. She might have tried 3 times. I was so thankful. Like, I was so thankful. Like, I was sitting down, starting to dance for one of these guys who she had called me over into the group. And I just been walking by, and she was like, hey, she was like, come here. And she, was like, go sit with him. And I was like, all right. So I go sit with this guy, and eventually, I don't know if it was him I started dancing for. Oh, no, yeah, she hooked me up twice and tried 3 times. So, I go to dance with this other guy later, and in the same group that she had invited me into, and she taps me on the back, and she was like, hey, we're going to VIP. She was like, you guys should come. And I was like, I think that's a great idea. And tried to get him to go. I don't think that guy went. But anyway, the point is, it's really nice to have somebody hook you up. If you can help somebody out, do it. It's really nice. It really is. I was so thankful. So the next thing is about alcohol. So I go to sit with this very attractive guy that was a lawyer. Very cute guy, and looked very well put together, and clearly had money and everything. Just bought a bottle for the table, and I'm talking to him for a little while, and eventually I talked to him for way too long because I really wanted him to take me to VIP, and I wanted him to take me for a long time. So I wasted time talking to him, which is exactly why in the Facebook group I've talked about hustling faster, because there's no point in hustling slower, because there's just no fucking point. If they're gonna say yes, they're gonna say yes. Sitting with somebody for 10 to 15 minutes is pointless. If you can get them to say yes faster, why are you waiting? Like, I don't know why I waited, other than I thought he was attractive, and I was like, okay, I was like, maybe if I invest some time into this situation, then I'll get him to go back there for a long time. Didn't happen. Well, I come back probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes later, maybe 30 minutes later, and I go to sit down with this guy, and he looks fucked up. I was like, it's been like 25 minutes. Like, if I had come and sat with him at that point and seen him for the first time, I'd have been like, you know, just another drunk douchebag or whatever. But it was scary, and I still had a drink in my hand that he had poured me. And I was like, I'm just gonna leave that there. Like, I don't even want that shit anymore. So, you know, I don't know how much of it he had drank, but it's just some food for thought. You know, getting drunk is just not attractive. I think in a lot of cases, you know, myself included, sometimes it really helps to get lubricated so that you know, are in the flow with people. It's easier to talk to people. Your inhibitions are lower. You can have more fun. You're not as serious about life. Like, you know, all that stuff really does help. But my God, don't overdo it, because it's just bad. It's just ugly is what it is, you know? And I have been there on way too many occasions. So you know, I'm not saying anything I haven't done, but man, that was just shocking to see. I was like, wow, he was so attractive a few minutes ago, and now he just looks like another drunk whatever. Okay, so next I was at the stage, and I met this white guy that was with like 4 black guys. And I tried to get him to go back to VIP with me, and he was like, I can't go back to VIP, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what do you mean you can't go back to VIP? I was like, why not? I was like, it's right over there. I was like, he's like, well, I want to see you dance first, blah, blah, blah. I was like, seeing me dance on stage and feeling me dance on you in VIP is very different. I was like, I give a totally different stage show than I give an actual dance, and you'll like my actual dance a lot better. And he was like, no, I was like, I gotta see what you look like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, just come with me to VIP. He was like, listen, I can't go to VIP. He was like, I'm very high profile. And we went back there earlier, and people were trying to record us and stuff. And I was like, then come with me over there. I was like, let's just go over and get a $20 dance. I was like, nobody is paying attention. I was like, you have nothing to worry about. Nobody cares. And he was like, oh, you don't listen, blah, blah, blah. I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, oh, I'm high profile. I can't do it. I have no clue who this guy was. But he ended up telling me if I wanted to hang out with him outside of there, he'd pay me a lot of money. So he ended up texting me like 4 a.m, and I was totally asleep. I haven't texted him back yet. They've got plans for like the rest of the weekend. I think I'm gonna go out of curiosity and to get paid. I'm not going for free. I'll tell him $1,000. He told me price did not matter. So I'll tell him $1,000, and if he says no, then I don't care. I don't care who he is at all. If he's not paying me, I'm not going. But he made it sound like he was gonna pay me. So, you know, hopefully that works out, because I am curious. I'm not that fucking curious, but I'm curious enough to go if he pays me. Okay, next is about people that you have intuition about that you shouldn't waste your time with. So I walk up to this, I didn't approach them. They approached me. I was on my way to the bathroom, and these 2 black guys were like, start talking all this shit about, you know, like, I don't know, me being attractive or whatever the fuck they were saying. And so I walk up to him and start to just flirt with them. And he was like, he knew I was on the way to the bathroom. He was like, go handle your business. He was like, come back and see me. We're at the first table on the, you know, right or whatever. And I was like, as soon as I was going to the bathroom, I was like, I don't feel like fucking with them. I was like, I think it's going to be a waste of time. I think that I'm going to regret it. I was like, I just don't feel like fucking with them. And so I go to the bathroom, and I come back out, and they're still there. And I was like, fuck, okay. So, before we get to their table, I'm not trying to sit with them at their table. I'm trying to get a dance. So I just start pitching them on, you know, hey, well, come with me. Let's just go get a dance. So we start going back over to to sit down to get a dance. And right before we sit down, he's like, just sit down. He was like, you don't have to dance. He was like, let me just give you the money. Or let me just give you the $20, and you don't have to dance for it. So I sit down with him for a second. He doesn't pull the money out. So I'm like, he's gonna waste my fucking time for $20. So I was like, let me just dance for you. I was like, because that way there's an end point where he has to hand me money. So I go to sit down and I'm like, I go to get up and I'm like, let me just dance for you. I was like, you know, let's just, you know, no big deal. Let me just, I would love to dance for you, you know? And so I stand up and start dancing. He's like, no, sit down, you know, sit down. So now some time is going by and we're rolled into the next song now. And I was like, and he still hasn't pulled the money out. And I was like, really? Let me just dance for you. And he goes to pull out 100 and he goes, now we're like halfway through the song and he was like, you can just keep the money. He was like, just give me 80 back. And I was like, okay. And I go to take the money and I was getting ready to leave. And he was like, you really want to dance for me, don't you? And I was like, of course I want to dance for you. Like, what better thing in the world could there be to do than to dance for you? So I go to start. It's the next song now. Now it's been 2.5 songs, or it's been past 2 songs since we should have started. So I go to start dancing for him, and he was like, start on the next one. I was like, it's okay. I was like, let me just start now. I was like, the song just started. I was like, let me just start on this. He was like, no. He was like, start on the next one. I was like, I'm going to start on this song. I was like, we've already been over here for a while. Like, let me just start on this song that just started. No. He was like, I want you to start on the next song. And I was like, I want to start right now. And he goes, well, then give me my $20 back. And I was like, you told me I could have the money 3 songs ago almost at this point. And he was like, well, if you're not going to dance for me, he was like, give me my $20 back. And I said no. And he looked over at the bouncer, and I'm new, and supposedly it's a really good club to work at. And I was like, fuck. I was like, I don't want to cause any drama, because, you know, I just didn't, because I don't want to get fired from there for any reason. So I pulled the 20 out and I threw it on him, and I was like, here you go, you cheap motherfucker. And I walked away, and I was like, I don't know if I should have said that, but hopefully he'll forget, because he's fucked up and he won't say anything. And even if he does, I'll just deny I said it. I'll be like, I didn't say that to him. I'll be like, that he's drunk. I was like, just because I didn't dance for him? Okay. Cops, bouncers, cops, customers at strip clubs, and apparently some of the employees at strip clubs. I don't mind lying to, especially if it's gonna keep me from getting in trouble at a brand new club in particular. See, I'm choking. I feel bad about it, even just being like, I hate lying, but there's a few types of people that, you know, fuck it. That's how I feel about it. There was a guy I got kicked out. I need to end this video. I gotta go in and work out. There was a kid I got kicked out. He was at the stage. When I walked up to him, I could tell he was fucked up. And I asked him if he wanted to dance, and he said yes. So we go over to do a dance, and I can tell this guy is drunk. And he sits there, you know, he's semi-respectful. The song ends, and he's just looking around, and I was like, okay. I was like, that was fun. I was like, that's $20. And he was like, what? You know, stupid guy. What? I was like, it's $20. I was like, we're done dancing? I was like, now you owe me $20. I was like, that's what a lap dance entails. I was like, that's, you know, that's pretty typical in a strip club. And he was like, $20? And I said, yes, $20. I was like, that's pretty regular for a strip club. And he goes to hand me a credit card, and I was like, fuck. I was like, now we got to go to the ATM. And I'm thinking I need to just walk away, cut my losses, and keep working. But I thought, I want to get his money if he has it. So I follow him to the ATM. Can't get this thing to work. He couldn't get it to work. I don't think he had the money in his account, actually. Or something, I don't know. But the transaction didn't go through. So he can't get the money to come out. And he's fucking plastered. And now he goes to talk to another girl. And I was like, well, that's just not okay for him not to leave. So I walked up to the up to the bouncer and I was like, that guy's drunk and he doesn't have any money and he just stiffed me. So do you guys have a policy where you kick people out or something? Because he shouldn't be in here anymore. And he was like, we probably should kick him out. And I was like, well, he's plastered and he doesn't have any money and he stiffed me. So maybe, that's probably a good idea. And I was like, listen, if you can get him to pay you for my dance, I was like, you can keep the money, but I'd kick him out if I were you. And he was like, okay, that's cool. So I walk away and I go sit down, and then I see this kid come back in the club. And he goes to sit down somewhere, and I was like, okay. I get back up and I go to the bouncer, and I was like, kick that fucker out. I was like, he's broke, he's drunk, and he stiffed me. I was like, why wouldn't you kick him out? He was like, yeah, that's a good idea. I was like, yeah, it's a good idea. I didn't say that. I was just like, okay, well, I hope you kick him out because he's wasting other girls' time. And he was like, yeah. He was like, okay, I'll go tell, one of the other guys. So we ended up getting kicked out. I think that's the first customer I've ever gotten kicked out of a strip club. So I'm happy about that. The black guy that stiffed me, or that asked for a refund or whatever happened, I was very upset after that. And I mean very upset. So much to the point that it made me be like, I've talked about different types of people that are your people and that aren't your people. Old white guys and Asian guys, older gentlemen, older guys in general are better for me. That's just the truth. That's just how it works for me. White guys and Asians, they just have been the best for me. I do not do well with black people or Indians. I just don't. I have been stiffed. I cannot stand the way they touch me. This really gave me some insight last night. Find your type of person. This is a personal opinion. I'm doing it and I'm avoiding other people. Just period. It causes me too much stress not to, and I'm done. I'm over it. That's how I'm doing it. But as soon as I left, I was like, okay, you need to brush this off and you need to be okay and you need to get happy immediately because you have 30 minutes left before your shift ends. So I did. The next guy I walked up to, clean cut, whatever, and I was like, he was like, oh, I've got to go, I'd love to come dance with you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I would love for you to dance with me too. I was like, and I also have to go. So how about come with me for 15 minutes back in the VIP room? And he was like, God, I would love to just give you a bunch of money to hang out with you. And I was like, we can do that. I was like, I'm okay with that. And so he was like, well, how much do you want? And I was like, $500. And he said, well, how long will you hang out for? And I was like, 5 to 6 hours. And he was like, I can do that. So I got his number, and I think Sunday I'm meeting up with him. I should have told him 1,000 because I'm probably gonna skip work on Sunday. I think I'm just gonna start at 1,000 from now on because you can always come down, but you can never go back up. It doesn't work that way. It's just not that easy. What else? Keeping your expenses low, especially while you're traveling, I think is a really good idea. For example, when I left work last night, I was really hungry and I didn't feel like going to a grocery store. I just wanted to go to a restaurant. So I ended up going to a Thai food place and I got a bowl of soup for almost $20, a bowl of soup. It was good, but it wasn't that good. So keeping your expenses low, especially while you're traveling, I think is really important. I've been putting everything on my debit card so that I can look at my expenses again. Another thing is paying taxes. I'm actually gonna get all my shit straight, and I've been collecting receipts whoa. And I don't have any kind of system for that yet, but if you're traveling, if you are buying makeup, outfits, so much stuff, you can write that off on your taxes. I would say start saving your receipts because I guess it's important. Don't get me wrong, I do not like the government or whatever they have to say about how we spend our money or them taking our money, but maybe saving your receipts is a good idea. Just a suggestion. Okay, last 2 things are about exercise. I've been dancing for a long time, and dancing in heels can do some shit to your body. I mean, we move in weird places, we move in, very strange angles that people do not move in heels. And it can be very hard on your body. And yoga absolutely has helped save my life when it comes to not being in pain, when it comes to being lean and feeling good and everything. I recommend doing yoga. Seriously. It's been 28 days, almost been 30 days now, and I've been working out every single day, doing yoga or going to the gym. Going to the gym has changed my body, and it has not been that long. I'm seeing more definition in my arms, in my back, in my stomach. I haven't really seen it yet much in my legs and butt, but I feel so good. And going sometimes, oh my God, I so don't want to go sometimes. Like right now I'm at Planet Fitness and I do not want to be going in here right now, but I'm going because it feels better to go than to not go. So that's it. That's my catch-up video for today. I hope you guys like these vlogs. I got some really good feedback on the first one, so I want to do this more regularly, just talking about life and work and everything, and I just want to help. I want to be as much help as I possibly can to as many people as I possibly can, and who knows how long I'll be in the YouTube game for. I think maybe forever, but if I'm gonna be in it for a long time, I need to step it up. I need to step it up. I need to quit doing this, once a week, a few times a week, once every 2 weeks, once every month, kind of random stuff. Gary Vaynerchuk, the reason why I'm doing this right now is, he said, if you're not posting daily, you're going to become irrelevant, which I don't actually really believe that, coming from a guy that has $100 million a year business though. Like, he knows what he's talking about, and I want to be helpful. I want to help. I've got a lot of ideas. I really do. I've got a lot of ideas. I've got a lot of life experience, and every single day changes. I have different thoughts today than I'm going to have tomorrow, and different thoughts today than I had yesterday, and I might as well speak my mind today, because if I don't, the thoughts from yesterday are gone forever. So that's what that's about. And then when it comes to my why, I said in my first video I was gonna get more clear about why I was actually doing this stuff. When it comes to my why, I want to post it in a different video. I want to get inside and go to the gym. So, plus this video is pretty long. But my real why I want to get you financially independent, I didn't make it quite clear enough that the reason why I want you to plant stuff is because I want to fundamentally change the way the world is. I want everything to be super abundant so that people do not have to worry about where their next meal is coming from. Because when you are on this level, when you're on the bottom portion of your brain, if you don't have enough money for food, you are not going to be able to think about other things, including shelter, relationships, creative thinking, how to get somewhere in life. You're stuck on where is my next meal coming from. And if we could walk down the street and we could eat oranges and apples and kale, if everybody grew one thing, if each store grew one thing, if this complex, if this shopping center had a gigantic avocado tree in it, do you have any idea how many avocados come off of one tree? And avocados are expensive. They're expensive, and they're so good for you. Like, there is no reason why we all shouldn't be growing one thing. There's no reason why people should starve to death. It's because we're too ignorant to plant a tree, to plant a bush, to plant anything. Like, it's not that hard. I've grown lots of food before. It's really not that hard. So that's the reason why I want you to become fundamentally free, is because I want you to be able to go places and just plant stuff. Wherever you go, not even dig in the dirt. You don't even have to dig in the dirt. Just throw the seeds somewhere. That's all that needs to happen. Seeds don't die. They become dormant. Some of them, it might be difficult to sprout them, but we don't actually know that they die. I've got so many examples of why this is true, but I really want to go and work out. Let me give you a couple examples. One was back in ancient Egypt, they found a tomb. They discovered a pyramid that had seeds in it that were thousands of years old, and these seeds sprouted. Like, what does that say to you? To me, it says we really don't know how life works, but it wants to live. Life wants to live. So just because of circumstance, okay, so here's the next thing. Death Valley in California. Death Valley has that name because nothing's grown in it forever. And California's been in a drought for, or was in a drought, I don't know if it still is, but for a really, really, really long time. And I think it was back in 2014 or something like that. It had rained a lot. And when the spring rolled around, all of a sudden, all of Death Valley was covered in wildflowers. All of those seeds had been there, but they didn't have the right circumstances to grow. So just because we throw seeds out the window today and they end up who knows where, doesn't mean 100 years from now those seeds aren't going to grow and they're not going to help give something life. You know, what's life about? Like, in my opinion, the only thing that it really makes sense for happiness and everything is to help people and to help animals and to make the planet better. You know, I used to think that the planet didn't need us, but shit, we're fucking it up. So the planet needs us to stop other people from fucking it up more. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna go in and go to the gym. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and we'll talk soon. Ciao.